relate to the closure. So that show didn't really help Amy's baking company in a sense, other than the short-term period of peak period. And apparently for Kitchen Nightmares, all the other shows were carry on as usual. Everything was successful. Eventually, this is the exception to the entire Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, there are many seasons, and this is the only episode that Gordon Ramsay woke up and the restaurant didn't improve. Yes. So it's the owner's fault.
Yeah, but the reason why the show chose ABC is that they are popular?
No, because
it's the restaurant owners actually found the show themselves because they wanted because even before this show, people started leaving negative reviews on their social media platforms already. So they wanted Gordon Ramsay to come in and prove that their food is good, their service is good. But as you can see, it's not the case. And even when Gordon Ramsay was open to helping them, he had a lot of solutions to help them to improve, but they were not open to listening. They thought that they were the best. That's why it led to the failure of the whole show.
So it appears to be there's two. They have a different perception of what they want as opposed to Gordon Ramsay's purpose, right? Gordon Ramsay wanted to help them improve, but basically they wanted Gordon Ramsay to reaffirm that they were a good restaurant. So that's a conflict in itself as well. Basically, your presentation is about how they responded to the social media comments, right? Which is, of course, a form of conflict as well. But I guess individually, they also have there is also an issue with conflict here in terms of their individual perception in the show, right? As I've mentioned just now. So that's kind of like a particular personality that you may encounter sometimes in the workplace, right? Somebody who's very strong-headed, who always thinks that he or she is right, and usually uses the competing method to try and manage or resolve a conflict. So, in your opinion, what can we do to how do we interact with people like that who always thinks that they are right? Because that's the kind of personality that you see in both of them, right? The chef and her husband. They always think that they are right, so they completely shut off to comments and opinions and feedback from other people.
Probably I bring a real life example of what I've encountered so that you can better understand. So because I was from the Navy, and it's all about regimental. So definitely there's superiors who are so-called thinking that they are right and you are wrong. So in a way, how we cooperate with the superiors will be we will take information and instructions from them first, and we will try to present things in a way that they want it to be. Although we feel that our methods isn't wrong, but we try to align ourselves to them so that we can provide what they want. And because they are our superiors, we can disagree, but we can't disobey. So in a way, we have to probably give them what they want, and if they don't think that what we gave them is correct, then we will just make changes. But that's for my case of in the Navy.
So you use the accommodating.
Yeah, use the accommodating.
response.
Because if you were to
But
compete,
that's because he's your superior, right? But supposing the person that you're in conflict with is your colleague, who is basically your peer, right? So how do you handle such people who always thinks that he or she is right?
I think for colleague, it would be best to use the compromising, because compromising is give in and take. And since we are colleagues and we are actually we are same level of hierarchy and we work for the same people, so it's good to make sure by compromising we actually can get work done, because both parties actually do their part. And actually more importantly is how the person, your colleague actually with what attitude they have. Because although you have the 5 modes of conflict mentioned, right, they are after all just guidelines and principles. They do not guarantee success. So if it's so easy, there will be no conflicts in the world already. Because this, so how we approach this, in the end, really heavily depends on the other party. Like for example, these owners in this case, they are very delusional and they want to help. So no matter which conflict management you use, you cannot resolve the conflict.
Yeah, just like to add on, the point was very valid in the sense of having a conflict not just from the superior to the subordinate, but also sometimes from the subordinate point of view, they might be, they might don't think that, okay, in certain matters that are subjective. For instance, I've encountered a case whereby about designing a water bottle or, for instance, packaging. So because this thing is subjective, as a designer, you feel that yes, this is correct, but your superior might not think so. So especially in things that are subjective, it gets a lot of conflict in terms of agreements. I really think this bottle is designed perfectly, it's so good, it's so useful, but your superior might not think so. So this happens a lot in the workplace, especially in the design department, web page design, product design, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So what's your
So, like what he just said, compromise, or if because probably the superior wants it this way, there must be a reason. Give some explanation why is it being done so this way. See whether he can adjust it. Yeah.
Because I think ultimately it's not so much which response mode you use. Sometimes the response mode that you use is also dependent on who you are dealing with, right? So if you're dealing with your superior, obviously you cannot compete, you cannot argue with your superior because it will be to your disadvantage. So in the end, the best thing to do is either to accommodate if you think that you can, or as what your friend says, maybe compromise is a possibility as well if your superior is not somebody who's so strong-headed and he can meet halfway with you. If you're able to explain to him reasonably why you think your design in some ways is better than his. Yeah, so that's a real life situation actually. We encounter that all the time. Okay, so any other questions?
Yes. Can I see the point was more confidential? Because in this case, right, you guys said conflicting was inappropriate, right? That's why you failed. And you recommended collaboration mode to solve this problem. But in this case, you can see that at first they are assertive. You can see that the level of unassertiveness is very high, right? Then you change directly to very assertive and cooperation as the maximum, like from 0% cooperative to 0% cooperative. But with their response, with their personality, do you think it is feasible? Because their attitudes are very, very bad. And is it possible that we can change the accommodating mood in their response or the response?
I don't think, because in this case, because of the personality of the restaurant owners themselves, I don't think it's possible for them to actually change to the accommodating straight away. Because as you can see, they are very strong-headed. They just think that everything they say is right. Everything they do is the best. But in general, we are talking about like how the businesses should actually adopt the approach to handle all the negative comments and complaints that are coming into to them through the social media or even any other channels. Because if you are to argue with your customers, but they are actually the one that is paying you the money, giving you the revenue, it's not really a very smart choice of handling the conflict over there. Unless it's really out of the line where they are asking something that's very ridiculous, I think that you should always try to accommodate instead of trying to compete with them. It will be a more smoother process to solve the conflict. Because I believe no customer will want to know that they are actually wrong unless the customer is more of a kinder person.
Actually, I got one more question now. This one has to do with customer service, right? So what do you think of the customer service in Singapore in general? As a customer, what do you feel about the service in Singapore in general?
Okay, because I worked at GB before, and I realized that for newcomers, they are
like Golden Village.
Yeah, Golden Village. So because I was working at a candy bar, the counter where they serve food and tickets. So I realized that newcomers are generally have a better attitude at the start. But those older, like longer workers, once they get tired of serving, they're actually like kind of frustrated when you ask for more things. They'll just kind of like just want to suggest the next best and get you out of the queue so that they can faster clear the line and get the rest after that. So yeah, that's why. So if you see, but this is not always the case, but because I've experienced some of the exception where I go to a restaurant where the waitress actually every time once they see us, they will come and talk to us. They will always serve us really, have a very good service towards us. But these are maybe some of them are foreigners instead of Singaporeans.
Yeah, I've heard that
Yeah.
actually the foreigners are the ones who provide good customer service, not the Singaporeans.
But also again depends on the customers because I work in Singtel and then they
Huh? You work where?
at Singtel call center and then I work for the building inquiries. So usually the customers because I do for the disconnection area. So if the line got cancelled off, they will call and reconnect for them. So even though reconnection because they did not pay, they will still scream and shout at you like why you cancel my line. And sometimes right because why is there bad customer service? Because some of the customers just scream and shout at you and sometimes you are very frustrated. No, me I also get frustrated all the time because they just shout and scream although they are being unreasonable. So sometimes if the customer is unreasonable, you cannot actually blame them for the people who do bad customer service because sometimes it's very annoying and you do this for a whole day, then the whole day the customer keeps shouting at you.
So you mean they shout at you the moment they speak to you on the phone, they're already shouting at you?
Yeah, they're like, I'm a loyal customer of Singtel, why cancel? Then sometimes you get very annoying. Because especially when the fault is really of them not paying the bill. Yeah, so it really depends on the situation. Yeah.
So from my point of view, is as a customer. So I went to like sometimes I go shopping with my my girlfriend. Maybe go to some like branded stores like Chanel, LV, etc. So when we go in, right? So I mean just shopping. From one day. Yeah. So when I go in, usually are Singaporeans serving you. Minority is like Filipinos, and I can see the distinct customer service between the two of them because I think like when you see Singaporeans, when they are a Singaporean customer versus a Singaporean person who serve you, then when they see you, they feel that you are unable to afford or you're just coming to just take a look. And for Filipinos or probably other foreigners, when they see you, they feel that okay, you are the person who might buy something. So I must provide you with the best customer service. I'll let you check the bag, how many zips are there, etc. etc. So that's what I feel as a customer.
So maybe it's your appearance, or maybe you walk in very well.
I dress normally. Like,
Yeah, I think sometimes the appearance also matters.
but the thing is, but the thing is,
size you up, you know.
but the thing is, some like old men, they dress very poorly, but they are very rich.
Yeah, that's right.
But the customers also, I mean the customer service wasn't very good as well. So it really depends from industry-wise, and particularly towards the branded industry. I think the customer service from towards Singaporeans is not so good as compared to foreigners serving
You
you.
think Singaporeans cannot afford?
Yes, that's what I feel. That's what I feel.
Sorry, maybe just to add, I think sometimes companies really are because companies they want to spoil their reputation. So in order to appease, most of them will default so-called appease their customers, even though they might be in the wrong. So this may encourage customers, even though they are in the wrong, they will try to scream and shout, try to make their points because